Yes, hi. This is Jivan Bowley, aka Dr. Nemesis. Um, I'm back after a bit of a lengthy hiatus from doing the Oceana Coastal video. Now, for those who do not know, myself and a friend went up and down the Oceana Coastal at 4 o'clock in the morning and slept it up on YouTube, and we took that place to the council, as well as putting them on Facebook, as well as getting some sort of media attention from it. And also my friend, about a year later, wound up taking them to court and winning. Now, this is another place of example, the reason why the Health Act 1956 is so out of date, and it's the fact that places like this, like boarding houses, can turn around and operate on their own backbone in some sort of retrospect. And this is the fact that the Residential Tenancies Act is so weak in terms of this sort of thing. The Residential Tenancies Act mainly accommodates for houses and apartments and actual rentals, but there are people that are living in boarding houses. In one of the rooms that I actually have interviewed, I actually did a run through. That person was actually living in the room that we will show you. That person has actually been in a room for like 7 years and has zero carpet. And we will show you the footage very soon. I'll do you a run through of that room. And this is one of the many appalling conditions that I myself and my partner are actually living with, as well as other people in this place. And this is a prime example. And the fact that this is run by a former cop just literally sickens me, because he is a totalitarian dickhead, in my opinion. I'm not going to name him for obvious reasons, but obviously, the parent company, the corporate company that he is this place is run by, is called La Box. If you look it up on the company's register, his name is right there. I'm not going to say his name because his name just makes me angry. Another concern as well is the fact that there is a known sexual predator living in this building. Now, word on the street is from a bunch of the streeties that actually I do know, as well as a few of the residents. He is a known rapist. He is a convicted and probably done jail time rapist, and he's a recidivist one too. I'm not going to get into too much of that story, but my partner has had a few instances where he's nearly accosted her, and the fact that that the management is a former police officer allows that kind of person in this building is just beyond a joke. The fact also, as well, is that apparently word of mouth is that the owner is dealing in stolen property. I won't put it past him on that one, due to the fact that he's a complete and utter slumlord with a totalitarian iron fist. The fact that he thinks that he's the law. He has this Judge Dredd mentality, thinking that he can just intimidate people with the police and get trespass notices, when the law is meant to protect both him and also both the tenants that he has in this dive. And this is the sort of thing that really is a cause for concern. Another fact of the matter is that the fact of the matter is that there's literally no maintenance schedule, no cleaning schedules around here. If you look behind me, there's practically a vomit thing, and that was not from myself or my partner. That's actually from a former tenant. Um, uh, yeah, the list goes on, and I'll show you in the videos. But anyway, take care. This is part one of the rising sun. This is actually a video of our room. Thank you. Yes, welcome to our room run through of this video. Now, this video was taken, how long ago? 3 days ago? About 3 days ago. I've only just gotten around to doing some editorial work. We're just going to go through the room of this place that we're currently living in. This place is small. It's a bomb. I mean, you're paying $200 a week for this room, and it's a sham. I mean, the guy that runs it is a former cop, and he is a complete slumlord, and this is the room that we're renting from him currently. So yeah, thank you very much, Rising Sun / LaBox / 24/7 pub. Yeah, and over behind here there's this nice little mural. It's done by some lovely artist named Mr. Bodily Fluid. I think it's a combination of semen, blood, and probably vomit. It wasn't done by me at all. We were only here 3 weeks, and that was already on the wall. It's already painted. It was poorly painted over, and yeah, it's just disgusting. That is just horrible. Also, please bear in mind that our room is a little bit messy due to the fact that we have pissal storage space. We don't have drawers. I mean, it's just bad. And then we're doing the run through of the dodgy wiring / light sockets in this place. And we're meant to have bedside lights, but we don't. And we're meant to have a kitchenette light, but we don't. So yeah, the sockets have been ripped off by probably what you would call the former tenant. So that's dodgy wiring 1. And you got dodgy wiring number 2. Yep. And there's our shitty sink. And there's my Wi-Fi antenna. Thank you, Auckland City Council, for the free Wi-Fi. 1 gig a day, I'm not complaining. The day that we moved in, we had to get the doorknob removed because it wouldn't open the wardrobe because the actual knob got removed. But yeah, we had to get one of the so-called maintenance guy to actually do that. Yeah. I'm not sure if we're going to get our bond back for that, but who cares? And this is what you're going to see here. This is much to be desired curtain that leaves fuck all privacy, but there's my coffee there. I actually enjoyed that one afterwards. But yeah, our curtain leaves much to be desired in terms of privacy. But yeah, that's what you call a curtain. I wouldn't even call that a curtain. I wouldn't call that a sit, in my opinion. But yeah, this is what you pay for $200 a week. And this dodgy thing here, this is what you would call a shelf in douchebag's eyes, but I would probably call that death trap, because if that knocks on your head, that'll probably knock you out cold, or probably would even kill you. It's loose, it's only held on by a few screws, and it's gross. But yeah, it's dodgy, if you would ever call it dodgy. But yeah. And there's our lovely light show that the shadow would pretty much would flicker. That's how dodgy the wiring is really in this place. And the ironic thing is that you're paying $200 a week, I mean, for a couple, is pretty gross. Also, I heard something about this couch as well, that someone actually puked all over it and they had to get it cleaned. And yeah, I mean, for what you pay for, $200 a week for that dump is just completely and utterly atrocious. And yeah. And there is the 3-week vacancy notice that we have to abide by, yet by law it's 4 weeks, so I don't know where he got 3 weeks from, but yeah, I think it's on the owner's head. So yeah, it's a pretty far-fetched thing that the landlord would give us a 3-week notice. But anyway, stick around for part 2. We're going up and around and down this place. So yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, blah blah blah. But yeah, anything you want to say? All good. Okay, stick around for part 2 and enjoy this video because there's a lot more to go. Cheers. Welcome to part 2 on this place. This is our kitchen area, which looks highly toxic. Yeah, we're going to do another run through of this kitchen because this was taken at 4 o'clock in the morning, and as you can see there's 0 fridge, there's 1 smashed microwave that doesn't even go, and that's highly probably toxic anyway. And the microwave that does go with a good ding inside of it, probably from this place looks freakishly horrible. The sink, which obviously is gross, and the hot water cylinder. But we're going to go through the kitchen again because this was taken at 4 o'clock in the morning and we don't really want to be too conspicuous. But then we're going to go down the very dark and unluminescent hallway into the first bathroom, which is right next to the steps. Now, nobody ever uses this bathroom. Now, this is unlit, this is disgusting, and probably full of mold. That's our bathtub that probably has more soap scum and paint than actual cleanliness. Window panes are missing as always, which is a very big bonus to be desirable. The toilet, which is one of the many. Obviously that has been cleaned for the first time in God knows when, but obviously still the floor looks manky. And the shower, first day that my partner actually got into the shower, it had no light, and it looks like that, and probably is cold as piss, and I will never use that shower. And it looks like someone dropped a turd in there, but I don't even think that would be even classed as, yeah, clean. And there's no light in there as well, so yeah. This was done at 4 o'clock in the morning, by the way. As is this, as always. I'm the 4 o'clock in the morning friend. But now we're going back down to the other hallway, which is down the same hallway, which is unluminate. And yeah, that's our so-called laundry, which is mainly used for rubbish space. That usually doesn't get emptied out for like about 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time, due to the lack of motivation from the management. So another hot water cylinder. And this bathroom is what you would call the leaky one. And I'll tell you something about that very soon, which will be detailed into the latest video. Now the floor is a very constant problem, and it's always going to look like a swimming pool on a Friday afternoon at school holidays. And yeah, that's one of the many problems. And yeah, I don't think a medicine cabinet's door makes a good window, by the way. But yeah, That's usually the case. And that's another one of our toilets. Yep, gross as always. It has no toilet rolls in there, and it's always going to be the case because the management just fucking sucks. And yeah, there's another toilet down the hall. All the toilets are on floor 2 for some reason. So yeah, that's our toilet with the light. No toilet rolls as always. And we got a good view of Auckland Harbour Bridge. And not only that, when it rains, we also, that doubles as a shower as well. So yeah, it's a very, very horrible place, and that's the carpeting. Now I'll tell you something more about that as well later on once we get into part 3, but even still, we're going to go down the dodgy stairs. And we're trying to be quiet here. And the dodgy banister. Which usually is the case in this place, but yeah, that bed has not been ever moved. Apparently that was meant to be one of the laundries, but yeah. Also, another interesting fact as well, that management has to keep an updated list of all the tenants. Now, me and my partner in room number 6. Where are we on that list? Can you see us on that list anywhere? No. Yeah. Obviously, it goes to show where the landlord is. And my partner apparently saw a rat in the manhole there as well. That is a very big... That's another one of the hazards of this place. But yeah, we did it at 4 o'clock in the morning. And yeah. Stay tuned for part number 3. We're going to have a look at the worst room in this building. And yeah, stay tuned for part number 3. Cheers. I had the misfortune of actually looking into this room, and I have to really sympathise with the tenant on this one, because being into this room, yes, number unlucky 13, it really made me think twice on why the landlord is actually not doing a damn thing about this, and why he hasn't been doing anything about this for a number of years. This room was actually one of the worst rooms I actually seen. The flooring here alone is like a driveway. There is no carpet. I mean, if there is carpet, the plumbing alone pretty much rots it away, or it just gets wet because the plumbing is so dodgy. Apparently it's from the shower, eh? Yeah, apparently it's from the dodgy shower in the other bathroom that you saw in part 2. She has no light bulbs. They don't replace any of the light bulbs in any of the rooms. I mean, what's left of the light bulbs anyway. She has to supply a lamp, and yeah, it's unhygienic. It actually stunk in that room. It actually smelt really moldy. It smelled... it was indescribable. It was indescribable, man. I mean, it was horrible, this room. I really have to sympathise for this tenant here. You know, she's paying pretty much onwards and upwards of $185 a week just for a room of this sort. I mean, this is a sort of rip-offery that some tenants are being left in the dark with. And you know, they're all moved. All the tenants are moving out in 3 weeks' time, because apparently this place is being converted into an apartment complex.
And yeah, this is a pretty sad state to be in, really, to be honest. I mean, this is a very terrible, this is a very bad room. Um, yeah, I mean, it felt like a driveway. I'm barefoot, in the rain. Um, yeah, it was horrible. Horrible. I mean, it was. I mean, the only solution that she actually got when I was actually shooting this video was, oh, we'll just take some carpet out of the lounge, and not the lounge, the hallway, and slap it into your room. But due to the bad plumbing, since that the floors get wet, um, yeah, it just gets nailed by the dodgy plumbing. I mean, from the leaking. So, and that's what one tenant pays for, is poor flooring and, yeah, a very terrible, very bad room. I mean, it's really disgusting in that room. I feel very sorry for that tenant. Um, apparently she's been in that room for what, 7 years? Yeah, and usually that's been the case. I mean, you know, yeah, the this place is just freakishly horrible. But yeah, it's really hard to watch. I mean, not it's really hard to see that there are so many people in these sort of conditions, and yeah, I mean, would you pay that much for a place like this? I wouldn't. Stick around for part 4. We're gonna go through the complainants room next. Cheers. Another tenant actually found out this stuff, which is burlap type squares that's been used for insulation. Now, for those who do not know, this stuff is actually quite flammable, and you know, by any safety standards necessary. Yeah, that is freakishly terrible. Just using that as pink bats. I'm not even sure if that's even legal for any means necessary. So yeah. Also, we're going to do another daytime shot of the kitchen. Stay tuned for part 5 of the kitchen in the daytime, and also will be posting up some photos of the place during the day. Here is the rubbish bin out of the laundry, actually being emptied, not cleaned. And sorry if my phone is on an angle, but we're trolling down to the kitchen during the day. And we're nearly there. Here is the sink during the day. Here is microwave 1. And here is microwave number 2. And no plate, and equally disgusting. There you have it. Stay apart for number 6. Vermin. Welcome to part 6. Yep, here we have vermin. Yes, there's cockroaches galore in this place. I've spotted probably a good solid 11 to 15 cockroaches in the space of 2 weeks since we've been in this place. We've been here for like about 3 weeks, and the vermin just started showing straight away. one of them just crawl up on the wall. Numerous other vermin problems I have in this place. Fleas are really common in this place as well. I won't be surprised bed bugs either. I mean, this place is just horrible. Asking the management for a bug bomb will be literally non-existent because they quite plainly just don't give a shit. So yeah, that's cockroach in the dodgy electronic work. Yeah, I won't even put it past the management if they even do any, vermin removal on this place, let alone have a mouse level, let alone, yeah. And yeah, he's just constantly going up the wall. As you can see, there's your little friend. Yep. I even tried setting fire to one of them, and I'm still trying to find a way of killing it, but yeah, it didn't work. Thank you, hon. But yeah, stay apart for the photo montage of this place. Hello, my name is Jevon Bowley. I'm Dr. Nemesis from the Oceanic Hostel saga, which was released 3 years ago. I'm now doing a documentation of this place called the Rising Sun. Now, I've done 3 parts of this video so far, as well as doing some extra work as well. I'm also currently interviewing a fellow resident of the Rising Sun boarding house here in Auckland Central. Now, I'm doing this interview in your opinion on what the conditions are like here in this place. Can you please give me a brief rundown? As I'm also a resident myself of this place, I can only speak for myself, but I need to know from someone who's actually been here longer in this sort of environment.
Hello, my name's Gary Bishop. I have been a resident of the Rising Sun for just on 3.5 months. As you have seen, the standard of the kitchen, the toilets and the bathroom. I know for a fact this place gets cleaned once a month. By their standard of what they call cleaning, is emptying the rubbish room that has been documented. All this person does is vacuum the hallways and the stairwells. There is also a person that has been staying here and was only here 3 days. As you have seen, the condition of the lighting in the stairwell,
Yes, the
which
lighting
is very insufficient.
It is
This
very insufficient.
resident has already fallen down these stairs, injuring her ankle, where she has
Yes,
had to go to a
and-
doctor and get a doctor's recommendation of what's happened to her ankle.
Yes, and I was the one that witnessed, myself and also a colleague of mine witnessed this as well. Also, my partner as well, and I walked through this place and did some film work of it early this morning, and the place is just downright appalling. We also just filmed that. We just saw some hemp stuffing in the walls, and we also did some extra work just now of the inside of the microwaves and also inside of the rubbish bin. It was disgusting. I can honestly say that much.
For a fact, I know there is one resident that has been here for over 2 years, and he has no lighting in his room.
Yes.
Every light point has been broken or snapped. They are bayonet light fittings that he does not have. There is no lighting in his room. I have also seen another resident's room where this lady has no carpet in her room, not a skirt.
Yes, we will be. Yeah, that is just appalling. I mean, a room without carpet also poses health issues as well, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And also, from what you also mentioned last night as well, is that the management basically rectified by pulling up hallway carpet and putting it in her room and replacing. They just recently replaced that carpet, which is still quite insufficient because, you know,
All they have done is they have got a piece of rubber carpet
underlay.
underlay that does not even reach the end of the hallway or is sufficient enough at the sides of the hallway. There are gaps in this so-called piece of carpeting, which is substandard.
Very substandard. We would like to actually meet this tenant as well. I would like to actually meet this tenant and actually have a look at her room, and also the other tenant without the light. I would like to have a look at his room as well at some point, because this is going to be all documented and all edited down for YouTube as well, because we're going to be doing this and putting this up on YouTube for videographic evidence as well, so we can submit this to the council too. We can
That's
okay.
also provide proof of another tenant's room that has been here 2 weeks. She has now been given a 28-day notice.
21.
Sorry?
We're all given 21
Yeah,
days notice.
21 days notice to evacuate this room. This lady's room was so substandard, she has spent out of her own pocket over $60 in cleaning products to clean the walls, the ceiling, and all the corners that had mould and dust in it.
Yes.
This took this lady approximately 3 days to try and bring her own room up to standard. As I have said, she has paid out of her own money cleaning products.
Yes.
This lady ended up with blisters all over her fingers to the point where they turned into abscesses and started bleeding.
Ouch.
I have been here for as I say, just on 3.5 months. The cleaning standard of this place is supposed to be, according to the tenancy agreement, done once a day.
And also, it's also under the Health. It's under the Health Act 1956, Hostels Bylaw 2008, which we stipulate, which is actually documented on that file which I showed you last night, which is in accordance of the Health Act.
As you have seen on the video, the substandard of the refuse condition of where we're supposed to stick and empty our rubbish.
That is disgusting.
I know for a fact that that picture that you are seeing on this has not been cleaned or emptied in the last 3.5 weeks.
Yes.
With the condition of this one room, there is a 75% potential of these residents contracting meningitis.
Yes.
As you have seen, the bathrooms are disgusting.
As they are.
There is empty toilet rolls that I know for a fact that have been on the floor for the last 3.5 weeks. The inside of the bowl of the toilet has only recently been tried to clean, which was totally disgusting.
Exactly.
There was human waste covered in the bowl. This human waste had been in this bowl for, as I say, approximately 3.5 weeks, where it had caked onto the inside of the bowl. There is also a toilet bathroom here where the covering of the toilet is substandard as it is not connected to the bowl. If you were to be a male, as males do, lift the seat to urinate, this does not even connect it to the bowl.
Exactly, and it's also the case on the other toilets as well, which I've seen in the videos that we shot at 5:30 this morning. My partner and myself shot all the bathrooms, and neither of them had the tops to their toilet seats. One even had a break in the rimming, not in the inside of the actual bowl. I think it was that toilet down there. Down
the end of the hallway?
The end of the hallway. It actually had a break in the toilet bowl. I'm not sure if it's a potential hazard or anything, but yeah.
As I know, it is not actually broken away. There is a crack that comes down the back of the toilet, and where the water is supposed to come through and clean the toilet on flushing, there is a big gap that has been broken away.
Yes.
I also know for a fact there has been a tenant here for 11 years. Her room does not have a skerrick of carpet in it. She has a bare concrete floor to walk on.
Christ.
I have said to this lady, go and see the tenancy management and say, I've been living without a carpet for how many years she has been in the room. I do not know if she has just recently moved to the room or she has been in the room for a period of time. I have asked people that, including a building superintendent, that this shower has a big gap at the bottom of the flooring where the water has seeped through.
Yes, it's from the middle bathroom there, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, because the middle bathroom, when we did the footage this morning, it had a very wet floor.
There is no floor drainage where there should be for the spillage of water on the floor. In the shower itself, there is supposed to be a grate to catch human hair, bits and pieces that come off people.
Yes.
This does not exist. I personally will not shower inside the shower because of the potential of meningitis.
Exactly.
We are supposed to be, as tenants, with a plunger that they've supplied to plunge this human waste out of the shower.
And that is actually quite appalling to see that, because usually not even substandard places like the Oceania Costa would even do that. Just looking in this place alone, this is very third world, and this is very substandard. This is a very, very appalling practice, even for the management to even condone this sort of thing. That, you know, a plunger is supplied even by the management to get rid of, for the tenants to get rid of the waste, when they should have adequate plumbing for the waste to be disposed of, you know, adequately. And unfortunately, this is very uncalled for, you know, to see this sort of thing actually happen.
As you have seen on this documented footage, there is a non-existent window in the shower facility.
That window...
I personally went down to the building maintenance and said to them, hey, this is ridiculous. You know, there's water that comes in through the rain that floods this floor completely.
Yes. I've also seen in the documented footage that we've done as well that there's numerous windows that are missing in the bathrooms. Also in the middle bathroom, that there is also a cabinet door that's in place as a window. Also in the toilet at the end of the hallway, you basically get the view of the Auckland Harbour Bridge while you're taking a piss.
Which is very much correct. Now,
which is correct.
This window, according to the management, right, has one pane of glass and a folding glass that is supposed to be there. Now, if you're taking the shit and it's raining,
you're gonna get rained on. You're going to have a shower while you shit.
Exactly. As you have seen in the substandard conditions of these bathrooms, there is no rolls of toilet paper to wipe your ass.
Exactly.
Which is by the tenancy agreement to be supplied by the management. And
tenants basically supply their own toilet paper. Gary's partner actually recently acquired a big roll of toilet paper just recently for everybody, and the next day it was gone. And you know, generosity does go a very long way in this place, but some people just seem to take advantage of the fact, you know. And even there has been the odd instance of, you know, even myself and my partner have left the odd roll of toilet paper out as well. And that's gone missing, and they go missing after a while. And yeah, I mean, the management should really be having some sort of accountability for this. I mean, they should be supplying the toilet paper for the tenants in this sort of situation, and that is quite true. The management is responsible for maintaining their amenities.
These toilet roll holders in all flushing toilets, there is not one skirt of toilet paper in there to wipe your ass. In one of these bathrooms, there is no cover for the toilet paper to go on. Now, when it rains, this is another room that has virtually no window, and you can look out and see Auckland Harbour Bridge.
Yes.
If it was to rain, and as my partner has done, out of our own pocket, because people have knocked on our door asking, have you got any toilet paper? We've run out of toilet paper a number of times, and personally I have walked down to a restaurant on K Road and asked them, could I please have a what they use for serviettes to wipe their hands in it after the meal.
Yes.
Could I please have a couple of packs of that? This person has said, why? And I have turned around and I have told him, because we have no shithouse paper, we live in a substandard condition that is supposed to be hygienic, healthy and safe. These do not exist in this whole entire building. I have friends that are street people. They live on the street. Now, because I am a very kind-hearted person where I do not believe people should walk around for weeks at a time without washing their ass and balls and whatever.
Yes.
I have just had a friend finish knocking on my door. He knocked this morning at approximately 7:30 and said to me, Gary, can I have a shower? And I said, yes, not a problem. He has just knocked on my door 20 minutes later to say, thank you very much.
Yes,
bro.
hence why we had to abruptly pause the video briefly, pause the interview briefly, because you had to see to your friend.
This gentleman has done this and asked me many a time, at least over 5 times, to borrow the shower. He is not a resident of this complex. He is a person off the street that has asked me. He has not gone to the management, which is by right what he should do, and say, can I please use your shower for 10 minutes so I can wash me dirty balls? He has come to me. I am not a management, I am a resident, and I have said yes.
Exactly. The lack of mismanagement and also having this sort of control really is very low and very substandard if they're going to be doing this. Practically that means that anyone is able to walk off the street and basically use their amenities, and management is not really doing anything in order to keeping security of this place. Also, you know, it states in our tenancy agreement that, you know, if you lend your keys out, you also get evicted automatically, and that hasn't been enforced either. Also, have you also been getting any of your rent receipts? If I've been asking, if I'm able to ask that question, because as a tenant myself, when we paid our first week's rent, we didn't get our receipt as stated from the management, and they have not sent us our receipt, which, you know, legally by law they have to.
When people are accepted as residents of this complex, the tenancy agreement should be one tenancy agreement for the management and one for the resident.
Yes.
Now, the management signs his side and the resident should be signing his.
Exactly.
I did not receive or even be offered, would you like a copy of the tenancy agreement, which should not have to be asked for, it should be supplied automatically when
Exactly.
you are a resident of this complex.
as well as rent receipts from when you paid your rent as well. You're by law, the landlord has to supply you a receipt for bookkeeping purposes as well as rent purposes as well. Obviously, since they haven't supplied with a tenancy agreement, your rent receipts haven't been coming either, if I'm correct?
Correct. I have not received a receipt at all since I have been here for the last 3.5 months. There is also on this office door a form of the 19 rooms that this complex accommodates, and every name of the person living in every room is
meant to be accounted for.
On and accounted for. The reason this has been, so if there is a fire, they can find out who is not outside.
Also, I did some research onto this place as well. In 2011, this place was actually a victim of a fire back in 2007, and 10 tenants made it out. And I think there were several that were unaccounted for, but they were neither here at the time during that fire incident back in the time. I think it was around about 2007 that happened.
Kath is one of the ones that will be involved in that. She's been there for like what?
Yes, I'll be asking her that same question. I'll be asking her that question as well in regards to that fire, regarding that fire several years ago. It's documented through TVNZ and also all the other related news media that actually got the story involved as well. Apparently there was like 18 fire units that put out the fire. Apparently it started from a bedside lamp catching a light.
To do with the so-called fire safety.
Yeah.
Approximately 3 weeks ago, the alarm went off.
Yes.
This has happened a number of times, and the residents are saying to themselves, oh, it's just another false alarm. Myself and a gentleman went across the road as the fire letter says on the door of the so-called office, and everybody is to meet across the road from the residential area we occupy. This has happened so many times, people now ignore this alarm.
Yes.
Where it has gone off, and whoever was in the building, being a resident, should have come across the road to be accounted for. The management had no accounting for the people that are supposed to be across the road until this alarm stops. This alarm started at approximately 8:30 in the morning. There were 3 appliances that attended this alarm to find out it was a false alarm.
Yes.
The alarm went off. I went to the fire panel that tells you which room is on fire and everything. There was a fault in the wiring. I'm not too sure about that, but in this building where it said this is a false alarm. This alarm went off for approximately 6.5, 7 hours while myself and this gentleman sat across the road. We were the only 2 residents that evacuated the building. It has happened so many times, other residents, even if they're not here, and approximately there are a few that stay here all day.
Yes.
There is one gentleman that has a handicap. There is a gentleman that has a hearing problem. These alarms, which we will show you at a later date, are of substandard condition.
Actually, I'll just paint it to your ceiling. That's the unit, I'm guessing.
Yes.
There's the sprinkler there. That's the alarm trigger there.
And there is the speaker for the alarm.
Yes, and that's the speaker for the alarm there. So that's our alarm.
These are supposed to be accommodated in every room. For a personal fact, I have been through 4 of these rooms where the fire alarm is hanging from. It is not connected to the ceiling. It is hanging from the ceiling. I have also seen another room where the speaker, the alarm speaker, has been severely damaged. That has not been replaced.
Oh my god.
There is rooms in this complex where people, be they residents now or prior, that has been tagged with spray paint beyond belief. There have been taggings on the doors outside your proposed accommodation.
Doesn't have one of these.
There is also sorry, I just forgot what. As I have said before, there are 19 rooms in this complex. Half of these rooms don't even have a number on them to tell you what number room it is. One of these rooms doesn't have a number on the door at all. So how are these people that are so-called management finding out who lives in what room?
Exactly. I mean, if for safety reasons, they should automatically update their list, just in case of an event of an emergency. I'm not trying to say that an earthquake would happen here in Auckland, but like an event of a fire does happen again. They'd have all the residents all present, all accounted for on their lists. This is practically saying that they don't care about tenant safety. I mean, if they have a list, say for example, if a fire broke out tomorrow, and if a fire did happen to break out tomorrow, and the fire department came and the management presented a list, and there are 3 rooms accounted for, but yet they had 3 tenants full. They had 3 rooms all present and accounted for, and they gave them an inaccurate list. Then there's going to be 2, 3, 4 people unaccounted for in this instance. And as we saw when we did the video shooting at 5:30 this morning, we actually got a glimpse we got a good shot of that list. And my partner and myself's room, the room across from us, and also room number 16 is empty. Yet my partner and I are in room 6. Is it Stephanie that's in room 7?
Yes.
Stephanie's in room 7. Room 16 is currently empty.
Room 16 is unoccupied.
Yeah.
And there is no carpet in this room either.
Yes.
There is also another tenant that lives in Unit 15.
Unit 15.
That we are going to videotape the standard of his room.
Yes.
I have not seen the inside of this room, but by the condition of the flooring in the hallway, in Kath's room, in room 16, and I presume in room 15 there is going to be non-existent carpet, or half the room is going to be carpeted. I live in room 14. I have carpet. I'm very fortunate, aren't I? It's nice and warm because I have carpet. This carpet is so stained, they've gone and just rubbed the dirt into the carpet to try and hide it, being the carpet is of black colour.
As you can see, I'm currently taking a photo of the carpet. Yeah, it looks very Very stained. Yeah, this is very full warm Feltex right here, people. Rising Sun's finest blend. That's all I'm going to say in this one. It looks very disgusting. I mean,
Also, now, according to the tenancy agreement, you are supplied a wardrobe to hang your clothes in. Would you please come here, Dave?
sure.
That is the condition of this so-called wardrobe. There is no apparatus that goes across the top.
Yeah,
to hang.
there's no hanging beam.
Hanging beam.
And also there's cobwebs.
The door handle on my so-called wardrobe, as you can see, the handle does not work at all. The locking mechanism is non-existent. I am going to close this door now. As you
terrible.
can see, that has moved out.
Yeah.
This complex is riddled with cockroaches.
Yes. Also, I happened to stumble upon a cockroach that was climbing up my wall at 6:30 this morning, and I got a good shot of it. It was a money shot. I can honestly guarantee you that one.
I have also, this morning, I have not slept tonight because I have personally asked